Hello, chat. Hello, everyone. I'm just adjusting my mic. My mic's being a bit weird. White Phoenix, Dreadhill, Shadow Man. Let me just adjust this mic a little bit. Because I'm not happy with it, so 1 second. Are you peeps happy with the microphone position? Also, I turned down the game sound because I found that when I was talking a bit quieter, it was overpowering me. So I turned down the game sound just a slight. Yeah, I'm not doing too bad. I'm not doing too bad. Yeah, let me know if the game sounds a lot better. Maybe it's the fact that, like, I'm not sure about this mic stand. I think it's the height. Hang on a second. I think it's the height that's irritating. There we go. That's a lot better. Sounds fine so far. What is with this mic stand today? 1 second, chat. This mic stand's been giving me nothing but trouble today. So I apologize for the sounds. Yeah, it's kind of like... It's because this isn't the usual mic stand that I would use. I usually use another mic stand, and I thought I'd use this one, but I'm highly regretting it now because it is like, I don't know, it's just not being the way that I would expect it to be as a mic. Just the weight of it, like, is funny, and like, I'm really tempted to swap it out. Just because of how shit it's making me. Okay. It's still moving. Holy shit. That is making me so mad. It's just like my mic. Oh my god, why does it do that? No matter how much I like. Alright. Is that okay? That is correct, Pixel. Let me know if this audio is okay for you peeps and if it's loud enough. Also, if the game settings are okay. I want to give you guys the best stream possible. Sounds good? Awesome. I'm sorry that I was late to the stream tonight. I was not feeling well the past few days. See, that's still loud. Why is that loud now? 1 second. Ah. Audio's fine. Thank you. Um, so yeah, I just sort of had like a rough couple of days. But I'm okay now. Chilling like a villain. Got a bit done this weekend, so I figured it was time to go back and play a little bit of this. Game isn't being over, but yeah, I just turned it down just like an octave because I felt like I watched back on the stream because some people did say, and I wasn't sure if that was the case. I'd say I'm feeling mostly better. I've been feeling a little bit funky today. So I'm just kind of taking it a little bit easier. Catching up with friends. You know, that old chestnut. As people would say, that old chestnut. How are you doing, chat? Ooh, someone just gave me a follow. Let me check that. I didn't see it. Let me check. I saw it out the corner of my eye. I've still got to fix all that. I'm sorry, chat. I will work on that as well. It's another one of my things. 1 second. Whoa. Thank you, Pixel Teriyaki, for the follow. Shadow Ferdinand, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the stream. Drink that orange juice. I've been thinking about taking a bit of time for me. It was just like, yeah. I had a weird day today. Because like, I wasn't feeling well yesterday. I think I might have had an allergic reaction. I'm not too sure. Like, but it was like the bottom of my gut was hurting, and so I ended up not sleeping. And then I went to what we call in Australia swap meet, but I guess in the States people call it a flea market because I was selling the last of my dad's stuff. I ended up buying a game as well from the swap meet, which was pretty fun. I was pretty proud of that. Finding like something that was really unique. And yeah. Oh, this is literally the game though, since it's all innuendo. Swap meets happen there too. Oh, nice. Yeah, so one of the things that like, and not to bring like down, but like one of the things I used to do with my dad when he was still around was we used to go to swap meets a lot. And I really love just going to swap meets and looking at stuff and finding something that you wouldn't normally find. And even if it's not a game, like I'll just bump into something interesting, or you bump into something that's kind of like, oh, I wouldn't have seen that anywhere else. And so I picked up, was it Drakenhen for the SNES today? Which is pretty fun. So we're probably going to do that one on Fun Dogs, I think. I picked it up because I'm really into the whole like dungeon crawling games at the moment. And I was like, I kind of want to try it. On a go. So yeah, we did that swap meets. It's a bit hard sometimes to do the swap meets because I find that Yeah, I used to do them with Dad. They were kind of a special thing for me. So the doing them now is a bit weird, but yeah, I was pretty happy with that. I had a good day. I was still feeling pretty sick, and because I didn't sleep, I basically hadn't slept since yesterday at 10, so I went a full day, and then I had D&D at a friend's place, and so we went there straight after, and oh no, we went to the shops, and then we went to D&D straight after, and I was just like, I was so exhausted, like I just we got there and like I think we did like 4 hours, and then I was like, you need to give me a coffee, otherwise I can't get through this last hour of D&D. Oh, great memories. Some of my favorite memories were my dad at the swap meet. Like some of the coolest things we found were at swap meets. They were an us thing, and that was what made it so fun. The swap meets were an us thing. And yeah, I love doing swap meets. I wish I get to do more. Like, it's just, you know, obviously, and you don't want to overdo them sometimes, because sometimes you go on, there's not going to be anything there. And because it's getting winter now, a lot of people aren't really doing swap meets as heavily as that they would be. Or, like, today wasn't particularly a busy day for the swap meet. But yeah, it was pretty cool. I had some work that I needed to get done as well. We've got some builds coming out, and so I was doing, we updated Galactic Pickup Artists because they had a bug that was pretty big, and then we ended up what did we end up doing? We ended up working on this other game that we've been doing. And so now we're preparing to release this new demo, but we're a little bit behind, and so like there's been a lot going on. Hey Pro, how's it going? And then yeah, I got home today and I was really exhausted, and so I decided to kind of just like flop in bed and kind of just be like, I need to take time. And like, and that was the other thing too, I was kind of debating whether or not to stream tonight, and then there was a big part of me that was kind of like, I kind of want to stream because I just want to have some chill time, and I want to like chill out and play games, and I want to chat with you guys. I don't get to chat with you guys enough, and I love chatting with you guys, so for me it was like, it was a no-brainer. So yeah, and that was just kind of my thing. So sorry if I just literally just rambled just then. But yeah, that was kind of like my shtick. Don't burn out. No, I know. I've been keeping myself a lot more paced and stuff, but it was more that I couldn't sleep because I was feeling sick, and then I've really got to work on this demo for this new game, and then we're working on the build for Cart, and then this week's kind of very important to me in regards to a lot of things, so I kind of want to hit a lot of the things that we're doing really hard, and I want to show you guys that we're doing a new game, and I really want you guys to see it and to be amazed and seeing that we've been working on some really cool stuff. So yeah, I was just saying I wasn't feeling too well because I think I got like either a food poisoning or like an infection from allergic reaction, which wasn't good for me. But yeah, that was pretty much it. Let's see, what else did I do? There was other stuff, like there was emails and stuff, like there was a couple of reviewers that wanted to review Galactic Pickup Artist, and then there was a couple other opportunities which I've taken, and I've just sort of been like, okay, like I'll look at these and looking into them, and yeah, that's about it really. I'm okay. My stomach's really sore. I had to throw out some of the food that I had because I think some of the food was infected with like what I'm allergic to. So I decided that I'm just gonna like just pace myself a little bit because yeah, I think I've hurt my stomach. But we've been making really good strides on cart, and that's what really matters to me apart from my health. So I'm really excited about God damn. I'm really excited about cart and what's happening this week with it. So also thank you to everybody that picked up the games on the sale this weekend. That was really nice of you guys. I saw we did a sale called the Unspeakable Sale on Itch.io. I don't know if it's still going. I think it ends today. But it was like 25% off all of our games. So that was like Ludware, Marble Maid, and Shady Loot Cart. And like, yeah, it was so cool. Like, I'm just so happy that you guys supported it in that way. Like it really, it made me and the team really happy because it just felt like, you know, it felt like we earned our place in a sale. Because there's a lot of big devs that kind of like they'll do their own sort of sale, and like for us, it was really cool to see that we kind of earned our way in a sale. I know that doesn't seem like much to a lot of people, but to me, I was just kind of like yeah, like this is really cool. Yeah, and so yeah, that kind of really put the team into like a really good place mentally. Gotta heal this. Yeah, I'd say that's about it. There's not really much else. I'm pretty excited about this Drakenhen game. I don't want to kind of hype it up for myself too much because I'm a bit worried that like it might not be that good. I've also been thinking about making a dungeon crawler. I was thinking about it today. I like the idea of doing it. And I thought about a really cute character. Oh, thank you, Sins. That means a lot. Thank you. That really does. And I know that, like, I know to some people I do say it a lot, and I'm just gonna say it anyway. I want to say, like, thank you honestly for the support you guys give us, because I'm able to do this full time, and I'm able to work on loot games and to make games that I love, and to make content I love, and to stream and to make videos for you guys. And it's just so humbling and so overwhelming. When I lay there in bed, like, if I ever feel really sad, the biggest thing that I think about, this is gonna sound really silly, my biggest part of my getting through any type of depression is I think about the support, and I think about how you guys really do love what I do, and you understand that, you know, like, this is something I want to do, and you look at me and you're like, this is the kind of guy I'd like to watch his content, and that makes me really happy. Like, I'm kind of just sort of blown away by that. It's still I think it's always going to be surreal for me because I don't understand it as a person, but I'm really humbled, and I still feel like I don't say it enough. I'm honestly so lucky. I'm such a lucky dude to have fans like you guys, and to have the support, and to garner the to just be able to do what I do. Oh, as long as I've been, yeah, of course. I know that with like Galactic Pickup Artists, like, the launch wasn't exactly perfection. I think it was more of like a learning curve, because it was taking a game that I'd not made and polishing it, and I think I learned a lot. I think the biggest thing we got from reviews, which was really nice, was a lot of people had said, they were like, even though the game launched with a lot of bugs, Jesus Christ, Shades and the team worked really hard over the past 48 hours to fix everything. And I think some people didn't see that, but it was like we worked really hard on making sure that Galactic Pickup Artist was within a range of... I still think that if I was to polish Galactic Pickup Artist more, I would want to cook it for 6 more months, because I feel that an old game like that is very hard to kind of replicate. But I also, part of the contract that I've signed with this this developer is that I wanted to take his game and put it up there in order to make funds for a particular game that we're working on. So I appreciate everybody that supported it. And thank you so much. Like, it's honestly meant a lot to me that, you know, the honest feedback about the game and the bugs fixing, like, it really does help. You've got no idea. Don't ever think I'm going to get offended. It just helps. It helps the team to understand what's wrong with the game. And we were finding bugs that, like, the bugs that have been in the game for like over like 10 years that like he didn't know that were in there. So I feel like your dad will be proud. I think so. Thought about him a lot today. I'll try not to get emotional, but I did. I thought about him a lot today. I sometimes worry that I'm gonna forget to think about him some days. I know that sounds like a weird thing to say. You know, like, days become so busy, and yeah, I know this is gonna sound really silly too, but I mean it when I say it too, and I know this seems like a dick move to everyone else as well. If I had the chance to fix everything and to change everything, I'd give it all up for him. It would be a no-brainer. I'd give all this up. I think about that every day. And I think about, you know, if I had the chance and somebody made me an offer, I wouldn't even flinch about it. And I know that seems weird to say, but it's just something that, like, that's kind of me. Yes, I should have worn my glasses today. Yeah, some aspects of Galactic Pickup Artist and Marble Maid were rough experiences. Believing the bug test is important. Yeah, no, I understand that. I think the biggest thing for a lot of people didn't realise that Galactic Pickup Artist wasn't a game I made. It was a game I was publishing, and it was kind of like my first game besides Crawco Block Knockers and Project Cappuccino, where I had like a bit of a hand in it. And I will admit that I feel like a bit more love and care could go into it to make it into a standard where I feel it hits a good standard with Shady Corner games, but I'm not 100% happy. But I think that's just with me in general. I'm always not 100% happy. With Marble Maid, I think that Marble Maid is... I know that there's like 1 or 2 people... I know with you, Pro, you've had a few issues with it. I know there's still 1 or 2 people that are not 100% happy with the gameplay. I'm, in my mind, as a developer, like, I'm pretty happy where it's at. I'd say there's like maybe 1 or 2 things that I would change with Marble Maid in terms of the way it functions. I'd say that I'm really happy with how it works. I still am proud as to say that's one of my idea that, like, I'm really happy with it. I don't know if we're going to... I did find some bugs this week, which is really interesting because, like, nobody else found them, but I've managed to find some bugs. So I've been kind of thinking about fixing these bugs, but I don't know if, like, they were just sort of afterthought stuff, and I was thinking about it. They're not like game-changing bugs, but they were just sort of things that were sort of just there. And I wish I could talk about Marble Maid a little bit more. A big part of me wants to talk about it so much. Because I actually have some really interesting news about it that I want to talk about, but I can't talk about it. It's pretty big. But yeah, I might have found them in my records. No, I don't think you have. Not the ones that I've found. No, when I say bugs, I mean like, I think there was something we changed in the last build that changed something that I noticed, and then it was something I was kind of laying in bed about. But again, I'd say I'm pretty happy with where Marble Maid's at. Like, I'm really happy with the team's effort on it, and I think we did really well considering the time frame and what we wanted to achieve with Marble Maid. And it has been a really nice experience. And the other thing too is that a lot of people don't realize, but that engine... Oh, hey Chores. Yeah, it's going good, dude. I'd say that a lot of people don't realize, but the engine for Marble Maid has been something that Moligato and myself have been working on to build. And we've been working on this really cool engine to kind of like make better games. So it becoming something from what it was from Marble Maid has taken it to a level where we've already got an idea for like 20 games that we could do just within the Marble Maid engine alone, and you wouldn't even be able to tell that it was made within the Marble Maid engine. But we've got that stage where like it's that versatile, and it's really cool. I'd say like, yeah, I was just thinking about Marble Maid. I'm pretty happy with where it's at. Banshee. Whatever make Panzer Dreams a public game again? I've learnt a lot from it, so there's a part of me that's thinking that I could probably make it in a way that would be, I would be really happy with the design of doing it. Not so much a public game, but I guess it would be more like I would remake it. That game was initially made for charity. Hey Gray, I hope you're doing well, dude. So Shades, I wanted to make a game. What engine would I suggest? For me, it's weird because I guess like a biggest part of me is like I'm very different to a lot of devs. I would choose an engine that's very easy. So I would use the engine that I used for Flambeau, which was Games Factory. That requires little code, but it's more problem solving and variables. So you don't really need to know code. You just need to know instances, which are like when this thing collides with this thing. You can make a code option, but you actually don't need to do any code in Flambeau. Like when I built Flambeau was made out of conditions, which are, it's just like you make a list and it goes like, if this collides with this, what does this do? And you can select a bunch of options and you go, oh yeah, sorry, it's ClickTeam Fusion, sorry. I think Games Factory was the one before ClickTeam Fusion. Well, that's what I'm saying. If you were to make a game, like if it was your first game, I would say do something really easy. Because making something really ambitious is gonna, that's gonna destroy your feeling for what you're doing. My goal as a dev is to not overpower what I do. So I feel that a lot of the stuff that I do is I try not to go beyond my limit, and I think Flambeau was my limit. And I'm still designing stuff in ClickTeam as well, because I grew up with ClickTeam. ClickTeam, they used to be called Click and Play. That system has always been something that I've loved. Yeah, it's not so much about code, it's more about having an understanding of like stress. So for me, it's like, because a lot of people, it's like the whole, okay, really inspiring person is Toby Fox, who made Undertale. He went in it without knowing how to make a game, and he taught himself. It took him a bit of time, but he learnt how to make the game. Sometimes that works for people, and then when you think of like Yick, a postmodern story, and how that didn't work, and how like game development was really difficult for the guy. It works for some people, it doesn't work for other people. I think that the best option is to not overshoot yourself. Especially when you're doing your first game. My biggest I see a lot of devs that I've reviewed that are no longer around because of the problems that they have faced with that use node code. Yeah, see, ClickTeam Fusion uses that, and I think that's a really good thing. See, RPG Maker, like, I know I bag it out a lot, but RPG Maker is an amazing program. Like, it really is. There is some artists out there that are doing stuff that you can't even tell it's made in RPG Maker, and I think that's a really good thing to do. I bag it out because, like, people use the stock stuff in RPG Maker, and that pisses me off. Someone else who's inspired me is Dan Salvador, maker of Doki Doki. I was able to meet the guy. Oh, nice. I think the biggest thing too is like finding people that inspire you. Finding people that you see that work in a way that you can kind of adapt. Like, I'd say that my work style doesn't really adapt to everybody. You want to find somebody's work style that adapts to you in order to inspire you, because you shouldn't have to change your entire, like, I know some people say like, oh, it's a big thing to kind of change a lot of stuff up, but I also kind of think that you should be able to do it in a way that makes it good for you. If that makes sense. Amelia, thank you for the sub. Oh, Amelia, I love you so much. Thank you. I had to learn how to use Visual Maker Engine and then learn how to break it. Yeah, so like the biggest thing is just toying and playing. I know some people people have different mentalities. Like some people will just go, well, you know, this is what I'm gonna build, and they just do it. But everyone's wired differently, and I'd say that for a lot of people that I know that want to do, want to kind of get into doing this as a profession, it just takes time. And then like the other thing too is like sometimes like you find the right mix. Like it's interesting what games right now are doing really well. Flammo is still a very special game. Oh, thank you, Pro. I wish I'd had a lot of my older games for you guys to see. I think Flambeau is a very special game to me. Flambeau is the reason why Kart exists. If I hadn't have done Flambeau, I wouldn't have been able to afford to take the chance to do Kart. Flambeau means a lot more to me than I guess a lot of people realize. Arms left foot, ears or face, right calf or left breast. Okay, thank you. And don't think we're done with... we've got a lot more planned for Flambeau too. It's... Again, it's one of those things too where like time is of the essence and money is of the essence now, because we're playing a big game of like what do we get done. But just know that we're working really hard on getting stuff to a point where we're like cool. And the Flambeau Steam thing, I think the biggest thing for me is hitboxes. I know what I want to do to change it, I just haven't had the time to change it. And I want to take that time. And I also want Flambeau to have an encore, so I know that if I put Flambeau on Steam, I would like people to have a second viewing of it that would really enjoy it. Yeah, but see, that's a start, those Sims. That's literally a start. That's literally how everyone starts. It's just one thing. Sorry, I'm having to think. No, but see, playing games is a good thing as well. You don't need an office. I'll say that you don't need an office. You just need to have the right people around you and the right type of focus. You definitely don't need an office. Because an office is just a room. Like, that's all it is. It's just a room. I've worked in some really terrible rooms. I was gonna try to play Flambeau, but I guess it's still on Twitch. Yeah, we're gonna... Because Flambeau didn't really get its spotlight on Steam because I wasn't really on Steam at the time. But now that, you know, Flambeau's, you know, having a moment of gathering attention, we want to kind of... And I think that was what made it really nice and exclusive, was like when people learned about Flambeau, they were like, oh, what's Flambeau? And they went and they bought Flambeau off Itch. Which made me feel really happy because it was like, you know, people were dedicated enough to be like, oh, I don't need it on Steam, I'll just buy it on Itch. So, but yeah, I'm really excited to kind of bring Flambeau to Steam. It'll be kind of like bringing everybody home. Sorry, I'm like thinking about my shots here. Oh, thank you, Pro. That actually really does mean a lot. I sometimes worry that, like, yeah, I know that I'm not going to always hit everybody's standards or everybody's, you know, but I'm trying my best to be a developer that people can like. I say this much, no game is perfect. I say that perfection is a myth. Because the goalpost is always being moved. Oh, thank you. See, you guys are gonna make me cry. Like, stop. Okay. Thank you, Shadow Man. Oh, I wouldn't expect them to be all 5 stars, dude. Again, that's like, I think that's the biggest thing that devs shouldn't get in their head, is like nothing is perfect, period. Because if you stay doing stuff that's perfect, and that's the thing, like there's sometimes where you have to walk away and go like, I've done enough with this now, because if you don't, like, it will ruin, you'll be on a game for like 20 years and there's still going to be issues with it, because games change and times change and people change. Thanks, bro, that means a lot. Happy Australian tears. Oh, thank you, Shadow. It means a lot, like the guides are really helping. Just means I don't have to do it a bazillion times and play, like, you know. Sorry, I'm just looking at the map because it's been a while now, so I've got to kind of... Crystal hairpin. I'd say that they're pretty close. But again, it's that word of like, nothing is perfect. I don't think anything is perfect. Are you serious right now? Are you serious? Did it really just kick me out? I literally just said games are not perfect. Game kicks me out. I think we just lost all that progress. I think we just lost like an hour and something of progress. Nope. It's all gone. Because I didn't bump into a save when we got to the next dungeon. That's so annoying. We lost all that progress. I don't think there is an autosave. No, there isn't an autosave. Yeah, I know, the Switch has been doing it to me all the time too. Well, the worst part is the only place you can save in this game is during the only place you can save is during dungeons, which is a weird place to do it, but... That's a pain in the ass, that. That is so painful, how long we just spent doing all that, and now we've got to do it again. There was no save. We didn't bump into any save points either. Like, the game doesn't allow you to save at the inn, it doesn't allow you to save at the shop, it doesn't allow you to save in Sekirand. It only allows you to save within a dungeon. That is annoying as fuck. Save points are only in dungeons, yeah. Remember how I said that games aren't perfect? I think the Switch is still at fault in a sense. Speedrun. I'll get back up to where I was. Yeah, so I heard. I've heard that this game crashes a lot on Steam, which is weird that they don't give it enough support that it should get. And I've also lost all those companions that I picked up too. Speed looting. I wouldn't want to do this, except like I'm enjoying chatting with you guys, so I'm kind of like, I just want to have an excuse to kind of like smash through this. Time fishing quick would be it. It's true. It ain't a lie. You make a valid point, Panty Pan. Love you too, White Phoenix. Stay safe, okay? What do the saves even look like? They're little books. I'm gonna try to go the other way rather than the dungeon way, because I reckon that maybe there might be a save there. It's probably one of the reasons why I don't like this game, is the save feature. Fungus is so weak. Lickety split. Lickety split. My stomach hurts so much. The thing that's pushing it a bit there. Oh, I didn't mean to do that twice. There we go. There we go. So back through that way, round this way. I don't generally support speedrunning, but speedrunning is speed stripping games. It's true. Yeah, speedrunning's a specific sort of thing. It's why, like, I wanted to include it in Marble Maid because the biggest thing that I found, because a lot of my, I don't know if you guys know this, but a lot of my projects that I do is experimentation. So I like finding out what people are into, and I'm trying to tread water that nobody in the dev community's done. So one of the things that I wanted to try to do was to see what people did and didn't like in loot games. And I was like, would people like time trials in loot games? And I found that like people love time trials in loot games, but nobody's ever really tried to do it. And then I was like, when I started seeing people doing speedruns of my games, then that's when I was like, fuck, people want to speedrun a loot game? That's so funny. Like, that's so weird to me. Yeah, but what I mean is, like, it's not like a popular, like, it's not a popular medium in which people, like, I think the biggest thing for me was understanding what time trial would do, because my biggest fear was that if we would put time trial in a cart, that nobody was going to do it, period, and it was just going to be left on the wayside. because the biggest thing that we thought about with lewd games is that lewd games, the attention span of people for lewd games is very different for people with non-lewd games. And I didn't really give enough people credit because I found that a lot of people would really focus on. I think that was the other thing too, was that the balance of Shady Lewd Cart being a lewd and fun and gameplay heavy game is that people would attempt to do that as well. No, because well, that's the other reason too. I think the other thing too, like my biggest love for Monkey Ball, which, you know, I've almost got all the Monkey Ball games, is I love the speedrunning community for Monkey Ball. I think the speedrunning community is really fun. It's really interesting to see how they manipulate the game. It was one of the reasons why I wanted to make a Monkey Ball game, because I found that people's manipulation of level design is very intriguing. And so when I designed a lot of the levels in Marblemate, my intention was to not do the same things that they would do in Monkey Ball. That's why you don't see like a lot of levels that are very long, apart from levels like the wine sprint, which is that giant room where you've just got to jump over every single wine bottle and make it to the end. Because I felt that a long level versus a level with intricate platforming was very different. And so I think the difference in Marblemade was we could do long levels. Long levels are easy to do, but that was what was different, was that, you know, we didn't want the camera to be sort of all over the place like Monkey Ball. We wanted it to feel like a marble game, and there are a lot of marble games out there that are like Monkey Ball that aren't Monkey Ball. More like Marble Madness or Cool the World. Faster. And I think that if you look at what's really funny is that the original level design, I still have the first original 10 levels of Marblemade that we made. And these original 10 levels, we made them with the intention of the way the game was going to be designed was very different. I took them out and I redid the first 10 levels. You guys have never seen the first 10 levels of the game, because what I did was I made the first 10 and then I walked away and then I spent a month thinking about it, because I wanted to know if this was the right thing to do. And a couple of the levels were really tiny. So some of the levels were like literally like a Rubik's Cube. They were really small, and it was kind of more about solving a sort of Rubik's Cube puzzle, in terms of like there's a very small space, so you have to work out how to get bunnies in this particular space. But it got to a point where it was like the camera wasn't being, you know, and it's like I've got all this space and I've got a marble that can roll around and like you can do speed up stuff, but I'm designing levels that it's making it very restricted. So, and then there was other levels that we did, which it's funny because I was thinking about it the other night. I didn't put this level in, and I kind of think this level works really well. There was a level we did called, I think it's called like a hallway run, where it was like the pun sort of thing was that it was based on the fact that Marblemade would be running down the hallway checking on everyone's rooms. And so the level design that I'd built was that it was a long hallway, a long stretch hallway, and the levels themselves would have it was kind of like, how do I put it? There was a lot of space, and the space itself was like, there was a lot of dead space. And so I felt that like, yeah, it was kind of like, it felt more like Monkey Ball in a sense, that there is a lot of ones where you've got to like go down a giant ramp or go down a thing. And the level design that I did for that one, I think that's one of the only levels that I really liked out of the first 10 that I initially built, was this hallway level, because it kind of was the first time where I was like, I think this is the type of level that we should be making. for Marble Maid, which is like, it's a mix between a small and a sort of big level, but like we need to add more like combination to it. The 10 levels, we ended up removing them completely, and I rebuilt the first 10 levels from the ground up, so nobody's ever seen them. I think I still have them. I'll have to have a look and see if I've still got the original 10 levels that I made. It's very interesting. There are some levels that I designed. I felt like I spent way too long on some of these levels. Like, I was trying to make them look really symmetrical, and I was trying to make them look like appealing to the eye. But then I realized that like a lot of the time you're rotating the camera, and so when you're rotating the camera, you're automatically ruining the image of what you're seeing. Do you know what I mean? So for a lot of it, the image of what you were seeing was changing. The other thing that I didn't like about the old levels, and this was a huge thing, and it changed everything, and it was the reason why, it was kind of like the final reason why we removed the original 10 levels. So initially, the camera would only be stationary. So the camera would only be... So the camera was stationary, but you could rotate the mouse. But it wasn't encouraged to rotate the mouse. So we'd made it that the player would be taught to rotate the mouse after the first 10 levels. So originally, when you're playing the first 10 levels, you're only taught to look at it from one angle. And then the goal was that within the second world's like, by the way, did you know you can rotate the levels? And you can see things from a different angle. And it was kind of like Toad Treasure Tracker, where like you rotate things from a different angle, you're able to see things from a different perspective. So the first 10 levels hid bunnies, but they didn't hide them in a way that we hid them in the game now. We hid them in a way that would only be hidden via angles. So when you go back and you play these levels and you're using the camera, you can find all 5 bunnies very easily. Like, you're literally traveling from start to finish and you find all 5 bunnies. But the reason why I hid them in that way was because I thought that initially I was like, the player won't know to rotate the camera if they don't know about the mechanic. So we won't teach them about the mechanic until later on. And then we open it up. And then they go, shit, I wonder if like I've missed some stuff back in like World 1. And then they go back and then they rotate the camera and they're like, shit, I did. Like, maybe I should have like thought about rotating the camera initially. And so yeah, that was kind of the mechanic, the thought process that I thought about the player. But then I think it was like we were finishing it up, and then I realized that a lot of people out of instinct would just grab the mouse and rotate, or they would assume that there is a rotation of camera, and it kind of ruined the perspective of where I hid the bunnies, because a lot of people, when I tested it with friends, they would instantly go, well, I can see that bunny, I'm gonna go for it. I'm like, well, that's a hidden bunny, but it's not a hidden bunny. And then that was kind of what changed everything, and I was like, okay, so I need to make bunnies that are going to be hidden, not so much hidden, but in places that are very difficult, or places that like you wouldn't expect to go, like jumping over certain platforms and stuff. Some of them are still in angles, but they're more strategically placed in the fact that the levels are designed to make you go, this is the way you should go, but you can go other ways and you can explore. And it's really funny too, like seeing the speedruns, especially like Shadow Man speedruns and all the other people's speedruns and how quick they do the levels. I've gone back to like look at some of the earlier stuff, and what's really interesting to me is that I never thought about beating levels the same way that they're doing them. Because initially when I designed them with a way of like, this is the way you should get around the level. And then I've seen people do skips where I'm like, fuck, like why don't I put a wall there? And like it just never occurred to me to put a wall there, because back then it wasn't thinking about that. Anyway, sorry, I like talked for way too long. Like, but yeah, that was kind of like my thought process on level design, and that's why it's changed a lot. And that's why I think by the time I hit the end of Marble Maid was like, I was like, I'm out of ideas for now. I don't know if I have any more level ideas yet. I think I need to stop at 50, and 50 was kind of where I stopped. And I think the cart mechanic was enough to add like an additional 10. My favorite part is to figure out the physics enough to skillfully completely dodge a hard part. And see, that's true too. It's really interesting because there are some dodges that I put in the game which I was like, you know what? Nobody's ever going to figure that out. And some people figured some of them out. And I don't mean like game-breaking bug stuff, but I mean there were some jumps that I put in there where I was like, if you speed up on this jump, you'll be able to skip a part of the level if you're smart enough. And people were able to figure that out. And that's what I think I loved about it, was the fact that not everyone's going to play the game the same way. People are going to be like, there is a path that way. But if I speed up enough and I hit a wall and I jump and I'm able to do something, I can manipulate the game into giving me a bonus or making me skip things. And that was something that like I really like doing. That's why I like Breath of the Wild. Yeah, see, and I think that Breath of the Wild is a really good example because the game gives you a lot of game breaking. I'd say the term's game breaking. It's stuff to like make you manipulate the game in a way that like if you have the skill set, you can manipulate it in a certain way. Like some of the level skips that I've seen with Marble Maid now are really mind blowing to me, and I've learnt some of them now. And I still sit back and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I never would have thought of these, but now that I think about them, I'm like, holy shit. Skill players and exploiting glitches are very different for me, so I guess I'd patch out wonky physics if people... Damn it, I missed it. So I guess I'd patch out wonky physics if people are skipping with them, but that's just me. Well, I don't mean like wonky physics. I mean like... The biggest thing that people... And I think that's probably one of the only things I change is like... Marble Maid should have a meter, like a speed meter. So like when she's doing her wind up, you can see how fast she's going to go when you let go of the button. And for me, it's like a lot of people count when they do it. So they count, they go 1, 2, 3, and then Marble Maid does the really fast speed up thing. And that's when she's going really fast. But if you do it at certain points and you let go, she'll do certain speeds. And so you're able to manipulate jumps in a way where you're like, I can jump over 2 platforms instead of 1. And it's not so much like wonky physics, it's more about the fact that Marble Maid gives you the idea of speed, but I wanted to give the player the ability to be like, you can play the game in any way you like. It's more so that your ability of it's different people's gameplay abilities, and I think that's what separates casual players from players that are constantly playing and breaking a game. It's intended to go to a circle and then backtrack, but I figured out going backwards made it faster. Go in a circle and then figure that going back. Yeah, exactly. And so that's it. And that's why some levels I've designed to be straightaways, but there are ways for you to do levels that are very unique. And it's funny too, because again, like I said, there are ways that I've seen people do it that I didn't even know you could do it without doing manipulation of physics. It's more just like there's another way to do the level. It's like when you're designing a puzzle, but you don't realize, and you're thinking to yourself, oh, there's only like one way to complete it. And some people find more than one way to complete it. And I think that's what really makes me happy about Marble Maid, is because it has opened up something where we've created a physics game where people are able to manipulate the manipulate the physics. So when I play the games, I want to break them. Oh, hey, Mr. McNorth, sorry. Fucking glasses. I need my glasses. I could make those jumps more consistent if I had a visual indicator. See, yeah, and that's kind of where like we've been thinking about. I was either thinking about a dial or something to kind of indicate, because yeah, obviously in your head you count, and the speed manipulation is something that you can do. And I think that what's the right word? Sorry, I'm having like literally a brain fart moment. Yeah, I'd say a visual indicator is something that I've wanted to kind of look into doing. I think that'd be a really cool idea. I think it would change the way a lot of people would play the game too, because you wouldn't be counting it out, you'd be visually looking. I also want to ask Amelia's question in a minute, which she said something about like a reverse loot game, by the way. I think that's a really interesting concept, and I like that idea, Amelia. And I'd like to know more what you would think about that, because it's a cool idea. Pro says, hang on, I'm just gonna grab a drink. I've like literally talked, I didn't even have a drink. Pro says, can I quickly ask why dashing requires nearly stopping? So initially what we had was when people didn't stop, and it was like when you've got an initial speed when you push on the controller. So say like you're pushing and then she's speeding up even more. It was kind of like you were like it was either we had to put in a mechanic where people would tap a button really fast to make it go even faster than she initially was, or for her to speed up in the ball, like do a speed stop but still be moving. And it didn't feel as right as mechanically stopping. And so we felt that the way that it changes it is you can technically in Marblemade stop on a dime if you push one direction and then quickly push another direction. And she kind of does what, like, she'll do a double take where she goes and she stops. And then you're able to do the speed mechanic. And I think that was kind of the reason why I picked it. It wasn't necessarily like a mechanical fault. It was, I picked that because I felt like it was a really interesting way to manipulate it, but also that when you get really good at the game, you can manipulate that speed and the speed stopping so it doesn't actually feel slow. There is a really good way to do it. So, oh my god, there's a lot of hang on. Shit. Hang on. I actually like the dash Marmalade and need to stop for it. In Marble games, it's a bit more standard too. If you have dash, you can't stop in your tracks when you use it. It'd be majority. Well, so yeah, and that's the reason why we went for the other route. Because there is a block that we didn't put in the game, which was a speed boost block. And I took it out because I felt like you could manipulate the speed boosting with the static boosting, and it just didn't need to be done. So, oh my god. I think whenever patching a skip is based on the question, is it hard to pull off and how much of the game are they playing? If a glitch skips a large part of the game, it's easy to pull off. Can be consistent, passionate enough about the game, learn mechanics. Yeah, see, and that's why there's a lot of things that I've not patched out of cart, because I feel that if you're, it's a very different level. Like when we did the skidding mechanic, we initially only had 3 levels of boost, and the coder was like, you know what we should do? We should add it that it goes way higher than that. And I was like, why? And he goes, because there will be people that'll break the game. And I think we should give those people the ability to do it. Like, we should give those people the ability to show a skill and have a different skill set. And that was kind of like a thing that we did where it doesn't affect people in multiplayer in a sense that it would affect in single player, if that makes sense. Start doing loot things, progressive, give more abilities to do loot things. So you go from horny adult to horny adult. It's also a rocket scientist. That'd be pretty funny, and they just end up just getting married and having a couple of kids. That's a cool challenge, making a loot game that's like that goes in reverse. Start out with really hardcore sex and then just literally blue ball the player towards the end. There's something about that intrigues me. If I had the time, I would want to kind of put my mind into it. Shadow Man, I figured that one out really quick. I hit the ceiling in detours all the time. Yeah, so I'd say like that was the biggest thing, because a lot of people had said that like you can hit the ceiling in detours thing, And I think that was when we started realizing that you guys were able to manipulate the speeding in a way that was interesting for us. But then it was like, how high do we manipulate the ceiling? Because then it's like, if we don't put a ceiling in at all, then you guys will constantly manipulate the ceiling in a way that we're gonna have to. It was just a way that we were like, this is how we're gonna have to deal with it. So the thing about kart, and again, I've said it many times, is like there is a specific way to play kart in which that the speed can be manipulated in a way, but the mechanics of it can be manipulated so you can guide your speed. So power sliding isn't so much a chore. I bought the game because of lose, but for some reason towards the end I learned calculus. That should be the name of the game, dude. That should be the name of the game. That'd be pretty funny. That's the whole name. I bought the game because of Ludes, but for some reason towards the end I learned calculus. Yeah, I like that. I don't know why I like that. It's funny. I'm hoping there's a save point around here somewhere. What she got? That's an anime name. Well, it was funny because we were talking about how, like, games in Japan are very specific. Like, you don't get Kincaid or, like, do you know what I mean? So it was funny because I was talking to a publisher and he was like, it's really interesting how Japan goes, my stepsister wants to fuck and I made her squirt, and that's the name of the game. like that's the name that they've gone with. It's really funny. So they'll be like, the book I rented from the library had tentacles in it and fucked me in the butt too. It's so funny. Like, that's the name of the game. They don't think of like tentacle book or like stepsister sexcade. Like that, their mentality is we want the cell to be in the sentence. So it's like the equivalent of reading the back of a book. Like, you know when you read the back of a blurb on a book and you want to find out what the book's about? It's the equivalent of doing that, but you're reading it in the title. So Japanese games are very interesting in that. Like, there are some games that just do like a title. Like, they'll do like pirate or like lewd fantasy. But when you look at games on DL site particularly, and games that are very indie or third party like Kincaid or like Crisis Point and Third Crisis and stuff like that, and Future Fragments, you see games that have full titles that'll be like, my gym is haunted and I got raped in the butt. The name is the summary of the game in which something is gonna... You literally get the spoiler for the game within the title itself. We have to come up with a Japanese game for your name. Japanese game names for you. I would love that. I wanted to get laid, so I organized the kart tournament. I love it. I love it. That was so good. DL site actually asked me to put my games on their site. Should I just rename my games to be that when they go on the site? That would be pretty funny. That would be pretty funny. Yeah, I'm actually like really intrigued by the way they work. Titling. I think titling in games is really interesting. So I've always wanted to make the sexy candle keeps killing people. I've always wanted to make a game for Japan audiences with a title like that. But yeah, again, the way to write one, like, go to deal site, right, and go to the English side, English translation, and read the things on there, right? Because they'll specifically say they will spoil the thing in the title. Just make a game that hits the character limit of the site. That's the thing, though. I don't think they have a character limit. There is a... there was a Japanese title we were joking about that was really long. It might as well have been in the description. My summer vacation turned sexy. Mermaid girls fiddled my penis. The trilogy. Like, yeah. I don't know. There's just something about those names that are so funny to me. They're very specific. And so when you're asking for them, like whenever I was asking for them on deal site, and usually I would go for games that would have normal titles, but they'd be like, oh, are you interested in this one? And I'm like, do you mean this title that's like ridiculous to say? Kick blocks to get chicks. Yeah, I don't know what it is. It's something about the whole mechanic of how they name their games. There's no save function on this first floor. I'm tempted to, you know what I'm gonna do? Because I don't trust this game, is I'm gonna do this. I joined a main cafe, but I certainly didn't fuck what happened. Holy shit. That's so funny. So I'm gonna leave the dungeon, and then I'm gonna go back to the first dungeon so I can save it, and then I'm going to go back to the second, because I just don't trust this game now. Where is it? Top right. Fuck, that kills me. Honestly, it's why I like, I don't know if I've ever told you guys this. No, you've seen the video. Like, I did a video about it. One of my favorite, I'm obsessed with panties, so I would dream about grabbing panties in the sky. One of my favorite, Twitters is called AVA Titles, and the guy updates titles based on so basically what they are is he posts titles of pornos, and it's like the titles of the pornos are basically the equivalent of those. And that's what makes it really funny, is like a lot of the titles that they've got will be like, I got fucked by my teacher and she gave me a good grade. Like, yeah, I think it's called ABA Titles. It's honestly it's a really funny Twitter, because sometimes the titles go for like 5 hours. And we did a video on it. It's worth watching the video. Fuck, that killed me. Okay. left, up. I'm gonna love the name of Area 3. Is it literally just like what we were joking about? Yeah, I don't know. It's just that sort of shit's so funny to me. Yeah, it's the American version. Man, a cleaning job got sexual. Holy shit. Oh, it's so funny to me. Nude lady for is that really what it's called? Come on, man. You're not kidding. Good lord. They're not even trying. Like, they're not even trying. At least the game's self-aware. Like, the game knows what it wants to be. Do you know what I mean? Like, the game... I want to explore these plants, but all the wildlife wants to fuck me. That doesn't commit full weight. Nah, well, I guess due to Nintendo laws, they probably couldn't. Like, you don't want to get too in trouble with the censors. I've known a lot of devs that wanted to publish on console, and it's very difficult with that. She goes butts because she wants the nut bust. I fucked the guard so I could say my girlfriend. I get, let you guess. Fuck the guards so I can say my girlfriend. This would be a good game to play. Fuck the guard so I can say my girlfriend. Oh, Third Crisis. Yeah, can I have a reminder for the bump and scratch? Yeah, that's Third Crisis for sure. It took me a minute. Yeah, it's sad that I know that. Do another one. I'll do another one. I want to penetrate a dragon, but the size shames me for my short sword. I want to penetrate a dragon. Is it Armor's Quest? I want to harem of monster girls, but they all require puzzle-like strategies. Harem one? No, shit. That's a tough one. I don't know for either of them. What's Deepest Sword? I've never heard of that. Got it. Deepest Sword came out recently. Can you link that to me in like DMs? But it's filled with innuendos. Just because I want to see it, like I'm intrigued now. It was a Game Jam game? Really? That's me. Thank you. I need to know the button presses. Just have a drink. Hint. The game is in cart. It is in cart. Not Monster Girl Island. I don't even think like Monster Girls. I'm trying to think like. Covering myself with this blanket feels so nice. Oh, some Japanese. Oh, blue, evil bunny.
そんなにされると終わりましたの？よし。これは今のはすごかったです。
Price of the blue skin. That was a tough one. A turtle monster stole my girlfriend, and if I kill his children, she'll give me a kiss. You mean Mario? Could also be Jazz Jackrabbit.
頑張ったのです。いやいやいや、そんな縁起でもないこと。弱い。
Nice. I'm in a tentacle hentai, but I am the tentacles. I'm in a tentacle hentai, but I am the tentacles. I'm a girl in a hentai, but I'm the only one with tentacles. Oh, Zone Time? Yeah, but describe it as a Japanese porn title. Well, you can describe any game. Oh, that's fucking Hyperdimension. slammed in the butt by my handsome laundry detergent pod. What the fuck? Rescue of mermaids? Gray's one, Jesus Christ. Veggie juice. I just want a save point. I've never wanted a save point more than I do. Why are they giving him so sparingly? What assholes? Good lord. Honey pot. A trans buckaroota. Jesus. Gray's ones are really good. Gray's ones are tough, but they're good. I'm stumped on Gray's, but the descriptions are really funny. Oh no! This is why I saved it earlier. Look at this stupid game! Look at this. Look at this garbage. Look at this. This is why I saved it earlier. And I bet you're glad I saved it earlier now. You garbage game. You absolute garbage game. You motherfucker. Holy shit. The Noid. No, I know, I forgot to change the stream. I know. I'm breaking rules today. I don't know why I'm playing Alex Kidd. Can I be honest with you? Can I be real honest? I don't know why. I don't want to think about Loot Alex Kidd today. Holy shit. Don't worry, I'm gonna stop in a second. Don't worry. I have so few checkpoints, I made an Australian man rather play. What? How many lives have we got? One. Watch this get tacked onto the end of the fucking VOD upload. I always hate those big fish. He got the big chomp, boys. I got some of his kids instead. Holy shit. I think he does that. We've got a few. No, turn me to stone. There we go. Don't submit the rank, you fool. Holy shit. Okay. Your score was recorded. Do not record that. That was terrible. Alright, chat. It's been fun. Moero Chronicles is frustrating me though. I'm going to try to get through that other bit and I will save it. And then when we restream, I will be up to that bit. So thank you peeps so much for coming out the stream tonight. I hope you've enjoyed yourselves. As always, I'm your boy Shades. Thank you so much for all the support and the love that you guys give me. I don't think I could do this without you guys. So thank you so much. Tune in next on Tuesday. I'll see you guys on Tuesday for another stream. So until next time, I'm your boy Shades, and have a great weekend. Have a great weekend. End of your weekend anyway. Good night.